Nicholas would kill me if I didn't record this. So welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome Sarah, welcome Graham, welcome Belinda, welcome Issy, and welcome everyone who's not in this room or anyone watching this afterwards. So this webinar is all about a little introduction to divine healing, especially around the theme of overwhelm. And I always find that these webinars are really, really fluid depending on who comes live, what kind of themes we're going to dive into. And I think a lovely place to always start is just a little introduction, just to connect the group, share who I am, although some of you guys know who I am because we met before. And then we'll kind of sort of dive on into it. And then at the end, hopefully leave enough time. I mean, this is my intention, to have a lovely divine healing practice so you can all get a real experience of it. Because I'm a little chatterbox, because I've got lots of threes in my soul contract, I'm going to be very on it with my timing to make sure that you guys get a really lovely, juicy experience of divine healing at the end. And we don't know what's going to come up. We're just going to go with the flow, because that's what divine healing is all about. So, and to everyone watching who's not in the room, that's absolutely fine. If you ever want to come in, just pop me a little note, or you can raise your hand, I think, and speak up. And if at any point you guys need to nip away to do anything, that's absolutely fine. It's a very, very relaxed space. And the only thing is, as I've shared a couple of times, it will go on YouTube afterwards. So for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Antonia, and I'm the training coordinator at the Centre for Conscious Ascension. I've been doing the role of managing the trainings for nearly 4 years. And I fell into this work from being a kinesiologist, which is a very beautiful alternative therapy where you use muscle testing to get to the root cause of symptoms. And I sort of fell into this job, and then I was like, oh, divine healing, that sounds like my cup of tea. And I trained in it, and I was like, oh, this is the part of kinesiology I love. It's the emotional part, getting to the emotional depth underneath the surface of what we present out into the world. And this is the core of what divine healing is. I fell in love with it. There are 5 levels of divine healing, and they all sort of go into a slightly different place. So I'm up to nearly on level 5, but we're just going to go into level 1 today as the focus, to give you guys a lovely introduction. And I've also studied soul contract work, the light body work. I do all of these services. I enjoy them so much, but divine healing is my baby. I assist on all the trainings throughout the year, and I run these webinars. Nicholas very graciously handed them over to me so I could get the experience of sharing with everyone who's new to it the joy and delight of it. And because divine healing is super abstract, you say, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do divine healing. It just sounds really out there. It's not very grounded. It's not very real. And even if you haven't had a session before, it can feel a bit, well, what is this? What is this therapy? How can it help me? First and foremost, and then how can it help the clients that I work with? And so the point of this webinar is to give you guys a real deep understanding. So please, please ask questions, jump on in at any point. This is your webinar as well. And I'm just facilitating it to give you guys the best chance to get to know this beautiful therapy. So I think that's my introduction. I'm based in Cambridge in the UK. Belinda's also in Cambridge with me, not far away, which is lovely. It's never happened before. She popped in on the last webinar. And what I'd love to do, and I always do this, is if anyone feels comfortable, just to speak up and just, I realize I'm still called Nicholas on my profile. I'm just going to quickly rename myself because I'm on his Zoom. Where you're from, maybe what drew you here, or perhaps what your intention is, just so I can get a little bit of a feel for why you're here and how I can best serve you in the time that we have together. And only if you feel comfortable. And Issy, if you just want to write in the chat, you can do that. If you can't come on camera, and anyone who's not in the room, you're also welcome to introduce yourself on the chat if you wish. So any takers to be the first to just say, hey, who they are, where they're from, maybe what drew them here. Yes, Graham. I know Graham, so that's thank you for jumping in.
Well, I have to exercise my number seven in coming out of my hiding, you know.
I like it a lot.
Of course, I've got the three in there as well, so I'll try and keep it as brief as I possibly can. So my name's Graham. I am in Scotland, sunny Scotland today, actually. Not San Francisco, as the background suggests. So what drew me here? Wow. Our conversation yesterday, Antonio, was it's pretty much been a full circle, really. I first kind of came across divine healing about a year, well, in fact, now a year and a half ago, um, and somebody had kind of suggested to go to divine healing. I never followed it up. Went off and did a whole lot of other things, and they weren't kind of working out for me. And then I found myself um, coming back really to the point, and that kind of happened. And I've done soul contract level one and level two, and I always kind of felt divine healing would benefit me, and I've always kind of been looking for some energy healing and modality, and it's kind of for myself or family if they want. But just more so for a general, well, see who comes to me. It comes to me throughout the rest of my time here, and so yeah, it just really wait and see what happens, really. But I'm looking forward to finding out more. I have to say,
Fabulous. Fabulous to have you here, Graham from
thank you.
Scotland
Lovely
slash
being here.
San Francisco. Beautiful. It's great to have you here. And then someone put their hand up. I think it was Sanal. You popped your hand up, but I'm not sure if you wanted to I think you wanted to share. Yes. Hello, welcome.
Hi, my name is Sonal. I don't know, I got a request for the video, but then somehow it disappeared. Yeah, anyhow. Yeah, my name is Sonal. I'm new here. I'm from India, in India currently, so it's quite late for me. I've been in, let's say, had some exposure with conscious ascension. And I've been meaning to do the soul contract courses, but I haven't got the opportunity yet. But today I've come with no expectations, just out of curiosity and see what's gonna happen. So yes.
Beautiful. Well, that's the perfect place to come to these webinars. Just anyone who's curious and excited to find out a little bit more. And I do tend to sort of segue into a lot of the soul contract stuff in these webinars. So you're very, 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 very welcome here. And
Thank you.
hopefully it will satisfy your curiosity.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Ah, I think Belinda, I saw your hand next. Welcome, welcome.
I thank you very much. Um, I am, well, should I say, I'm qualified as a healer in in energies, and I wanted to go deeper. And this presented itself after I was looking at the soul contract thing. So I came in to this in a roundabout fashion. And because of my soul contract, I also decided I've got to exercise my sevens because we need that. And so I thought I'd follow Graham's footsteps there. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I signed up for this course to do the soul contract, and the very next day I'm like, oh, did I do the right thing? And I suddenly went into overwhelm because so much else has gone on. So it kind of ties in with your um, topic today, because suddenly everything seemed to get on top of me, and I'm like, oh, have I done the right thing? Or whatever, whatever. But I know that I was excited beforehand, so I'm going with that.
You know what? I think sometimes our minds can get so busy. You know, did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? And if I make that decision, what will happen then? And it's a really big piece of it. And I think the lovely thing is just having that distinction which you've done between, you know, what your body was feeling, oh, I'm excited. And then the mind was like, oh no, overwhelm, panic, danger, alert. So brilliant you're here. And yes, this is hopefully going to help.
And of course, you know, the fact that we're in the eclipse portal right now just has thrown things so out of whack, and it's affected me more than it normally does. So I suppose it's a good place to be. So thank you.
It's a spunky time of year, I have to say. August eclipses, all of it. I'm not an astrologer, but it's pretty intense. It's the feedback from a lot of people.
This year, it's way beyond what I've ever experienced. So it's like,
I'm
anyway.
sure you're not alone in that.
No, I'm not.
Absolutely.
No, there's a lot of people in the same boat. So yeah.
Okay, beautiful. We've got more sevens revealing themselves. So seven is the soul contract energy, for anyone who doesn't know, about coming out of hiding and stepping forward as your true self into the world. And often the sevens, I've got them as well, have this deep need for safety and control because we don't want to be seen, because if we're seen, we might be hurt. And so we do everything we can to protect our vulnerability. And the easiest way, of course, is not to be seen. If we're not seen, we can't be attacked and hurt. So well done, the sevens being here. And I think, Sarah, I might have seen your hand just creep up at some point. Welcome.
Thanks, Antonia. Yeah, so Nicholas is a dear friend of mine, and he reached out a couple of days ago and told me that you were doing this session, and thought that I might enjoy doing it and benefit from it. I guess my overwhelm is that I've recently moved for half my life to Japan. So I spend half the year in Japan and half the year here. And although it's absolutely the most amazing adventure and I'm really enjoying kind of starting a new life over there, it's put a lot of strain on how I navigate things in terms of my relationships and with family and so on. So yeah, that's just been the tricky thing that I've been navigating. I've been back over summer for a few months now, and but still could do with a little bit of help. I've got a lot of 10-1s, no 7s, but 10-1s.
But 10-1s have a beautiful special energy. I find 10, do you have 8s as well, or is it just 10-1s?
Just 10-1s, yeah, and
okay.
a 19-1, yeah.
Oh gosh, very strong energy, the 10-1. And I work with quite a few people with 8s and 10-1s together. That's why I asked. Because often I find that these are those kind of high frequency energies that come down to earth and they're like, where the hell have I landed? And how am I supposed to adjust? And who am I supposed to feel like I can be myself with?
That's how I felt definitely my whole life. And then interestingly, my soul destiny is 13-4, which I am trying to make it my journey to move towards embodying that. But the sort of critical, judgy energy of the 10-1s is hard work.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. It can be a very, very internal, strong internal energy. But hopefully we will help you soothe a little bit of that overwhelm today. I'm going to do my best. And Belinda, did you want to jump in? No, just the accidental hand. And Izzy, I saw your comment. I'm going to read it out. Washington, D.C., beautiful. Synchronicity. Feeling a little disconnected and overwhelmed by life, and saw this webinar and thought you would join. And this is divine intervention. Absolutely it is. I always find the universe just plonks things in our path. 13-4 soul destiny as well. The universe plonks things in our path in this beautiful divine order. And you know what? I always find that everyone who comes to these webinars live are always meant to be here. This specific little group of people is always meant to be here all together. I really, really trust in that. And I've been running these since last year, and they're really, really joyful. And I always find that the people who come are the people who are meant to be here. And if anyone can't come live, it's okay. It just wasn't meant to be, and they can watch the recording. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. As I said, please do jump on in at any point with any questions or comments or thoughts. And sometimes I do look at the soul contracts if it's coming up when I'm talking to someone. So if you do want me to take a look at it during the webinar, just write down your birth certificate name in the chat and I'll pull it up in the software. But if you're not comfortable with that, that's absolutely fine as well. But if you just want to leave it there, then at any point during the webinar we want to go into it, we can do. Because I always find that stuff comes up. Some more seven sevens and 10 ones could be the theme of today. Okay, beautiful. So let me just check that there's no one else wanting to join before we get started. Attendees. Jan Matra, I'm not sure if you want to come in. I think you declined to be a participant, so I'm just going to leave you there, but if you want to come in, just put your hand up. Okay, let's just dive on into this then. So let me get everything up that I need to. Okay. So I love to pick the webinar themes based on my experiences, because that actually is the best way for us to learn and grow, is really through our own experiences. And if we're practitioners, then we can then help people moving forwards. I'm just going to adjust some things because this is being recorded. I want to make sure everything can be seen. I think I'm just going to leave that like this. Okay. So I can't see all of you. So if you do want to ask anything, just shout out. Okay. So we're going to talk about feeling overwhelmed as the general feeling. This is a really strong one, not only because the world is a deeply overwhelming place, but most of us who do this work are super sensitive and we are super attuned to our external environments and the people in them. And I call this a bit like being a sponge. So often people I tend to work with, the people who come into this business as well, we all have those sponge-like energies. And I would say the spongiest energies are often the 11-2s, which in the soul contract is this sort of absorption energy, absorbing any kind of patterns and imprints, especially from family around them. And then you're here to sort of work through them on behalf of the family and the ancestral line. We call them the emotional processing units of the family. So this is the 11-2 energy. And the second energy that can be very sponge-like is the 8-8 energy, which is a very thin, permeable membrane between ourselves and the people around us. So often, and then maybe you can all resonate with this, when someone walks into a room, can you know what they're feeling? Can you pick up on their stress, their anger? Maybe as a child, you were the peacekeeper, you could feel your parents' emotions and stress. 8 energies want to sort of help fix, save, and heal everyone around them because they feel things so deeply. There we go. Issy's got an 11-2 in her spiritual talent, so she will probably know what this one's all about. So this is a really joyful one for me to talk about because I've got 8s in my spiritual karma. And I've also got not 11-2s, I've got 12-3s. Not sure if anyone else has those. 12-3s often like to stay very busy and very in their heads in order to not feel. And ironically, we do this to avoid feeling overwhelmed. But the more in our minds, the more busy and churning they are, the more overwhelmed we tend to feel. But I'm going to get into the meat of that a little bit later. Okay, so we're going to talk about what keeps us feeling overwhelmed and overloaded. And more importantly, what is the hidden emotional pattern underneath? Because we have these behaviors and we can read them very easily. They're almost like on top of the surface of the ocean. We can see very clearly what's on the surface. We can see our boat. I always use this analogy. We're a boat cruising on the surface. And we think we know what's happening, but underneath the surface, we have all these strong flows and streams and currents of hidden emotional patterns that are the real drivers of our life. So while we might recognize, oh my God, I get overwhelmed from time to time, what is the hidden emotional pattern underneath the overwhelm that is driving it? And that's what we're going to get into. And I want everyone, hopefully, to find theirs. I know very clearly what my one is. When I was writing this yesterday, I was like, I know exactly what my one is. And then how does divine healing work? I think this is why you've all come here. How does divine healing work to get in to those hidden emotional patterns, to then be able to release the result of them, which is that overwhelm? So divine healing is like this beautiful tool that goes in, takes you diving, whether you're working with yourself or you're working with your client. You buddy pal with them, you go buddy diving, so you have to dive in as a buddy, and you go in and you work on those currents. So they're no longer driving someone's life in a direction they don't want to be going in. And most importantly, what happens when we bring awareness, non-judgment, and compassion to ourselves first and foremost through healing? Because believe it or not, one of the reasons, and Sarah, you touched on this very well with that judgment, one of the reasons we often struggle to work through our own challenges is because we can judge ourselves so harshly. We can be our worst critics. We can be so incredibly hard on ourselves. So what happens when we release the judgment? And that's a big part of divine healing, is releasing judgment. So, sorry, the first bit, talking a lot, but I'm at any point, please do ask questions, and then we're going to go a little bit more into the roots of overwhelm. I'm always conscious that I talk too much in these webinars. So as an overview, what is divine healing? So this was channeled through Almira. Now, Almira runs the sister company, the Center for Love and Enlightenment. And she's based down in France, and her and Nicholas used to be married. And they were going through their relationship. And Nicholas talks about this all the time, which is why he shared it with me. They were having big clashing 9 energy in their soul contracts. And when you have a big clash with your partner in your karma or your goals, or maybe even soul destiny, there can be relationship challenges. And 9 is about power. So there were power struggles. And Nicholas and Almira realized, well, they wished for a tool that they could have to help them work through some of the subconscious issues coming through this power clash in their soul contract. And so Almira was able to channel divine healing through. It wasn't just Almira, there were 2 others as well. One was actually a kinesiologist. And they downloaded the first level of divine healing. It just dropped in, very, very beautiful, as all good things do. It just got channeled in. And this is the contents, I love sharing this, of divine healing level 1. And these were all the things that came down. So you'll see some of the so we work with charts in divine healing, and they're all numbered and color coded. So you've got 26 charts corresponding to all the letters of the alphabet. And so some charts are green, these are gentle charts. Some are red, these are really intense, like hidden ego agendas, judgments and beliefs, low frequency programs. We're probably going to do that today, it's one of my favorites. And then yellow is a little bit lighter. Now, I've done all 4 levels of divine healing, and all the levels look like this, but this is a slightly different theme for each one. So this was all channeled through, all of these charts are channeled through. And then Almira thought, we're done, we don't need to do any more. And then just more came through, up to 5 levels. And they're all very unique, very beautiful. Level 1 is all about clearing ego agendas, mastering the ego. Level 2 is about the divine temple of the body. Level 3 is about deepening into self-love. Level 4 is about deepening into grace. There's lots of soul programs come through. But level 1 is nice, chunky ego work, which is why it's my absolute favorite. So ultimately, what is divine healing? Now, it's multidimensional. I don't chuck this word about randomly. Multidimensional means we are working not just in this lifetime, but across multiple lifetimes. We always want to find the origin of a program. And a program is almost like, if any of you have seen a matrix, we get programmed with beliefs. You know, we might have overheard our parents saying, that's rubbish, you're no good at that. And that creates the belief, oh, we're no good at that, we can't do that. That's what we call a program. It might be a belief, a judgment, a fear, a pattern, an imprint, could be anything like that. We call it programs. And in the matrix, you know, they load people in with programs through the computer. So we always want to find the origin of a program. Where did the program come in? Was it in a past life? Was it in this lifetime? Was it in another dimension, another reality? And so in divine healing, we're taking our our incarnation, not just in this point of time, but in all points of time. Because time, again, isn't linear. It's all just one. It's all just the nowness. So it's multidimensional, which makes it very, very deep, the work that we're doing. It's not sort of just on the surface of this lifetime. So it helps us open to grace. This is a really big one. I'm going to go into this in a minute. Grace is ease, flow, and love. An easy, graceful way to live. So it's not so sticky. We're not so climbing and clambering under and around obstacles of self-sabotage and fears in order to get things done, to do what we want. We want to do what we came here to do. It's very accurate, very quick, very simple. And often the simplest things are the most powerful. And it's based on ask and you shall receive. Now, if you know the soul contract work, you'll know that our names are sounds, and sound is creation. And so the names of our sound, the sounds of our names create our reality, which is where the soul contract comes from. It's the same. When we ask, when we speak out loud, we are putting words, energy, and vibration out into the universe, and it comes back. So in divine healing, there's a lot of spoken words. Either I say them or I get the client to say them. It's very empowering when we say things from ourselves. And ultimately, what does divine healing help you do? It helps you move from trying to control yourself and control life through fear into stepping into command. It's a very, very different energy. Command is very much, I'm in command of my life. I am confident about who I am, and I'm confident in how I'm moving through life. That's taking command, whereas control is trying to manipulate, coerce, and force in order to stay safe often. So this is self-empowering work. We all want to be more empowered. This is self-empowerment. It's very gentle. I work online. You can work in person. I do all my sessions online. And your client's always going to be lying down, relaxed for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's such a lovely altering therapy. They go so lovely and deep in it. And more than anything, if you are not working with clients, or if you want to use it for yourself first and then start working with clients, you can use it on yourself. I've done a lot of deep clearing just on my own. Big stuff I didn't even realize I was holding. Huge amounts of grief and pain that have come out of my heart space that I didn't even know were there. And that surprised me. I didn't expect that. And often when you do level 1, everyone gets really excited. They're like, oh, I'm going to clear loads of my programming. And they do. And that's really beautiful. And after level 1, you can just crack straight on if you want to work with clients, or you can do swaps with your classmates, practice on friends and family, or you can just work on yourself. So this is what I really love. We are multidimensional. We come from source and we drop down into the 3rd dimension where we still embody source. Because source wanted to know itself. It wanted to experience who it was through the eyes of parts of itself. And so this is why we have this dense band of frequencies we call Earth in the 3rd dimension. And the purpose of divine healing is to reconnect our channel back. So we remember who we are. We remember where we come from. We remember what we have the potential to achieve if we can open up and expand our consciousness. Now, little things get in the way. We have our ego mind. We're all very familiar with our ego. It puts a layer, I call it the glass ceiling of consciousness, over us. And so we find it very hard to break through. We don't believe, we don't trust. It's very, very normal. This is the big challenge. And within each of your soul contracts, you have your own unique challenges that are put in place to help you reconnect with source. Everyone's got their own unique one to what that is. So we're all here to come back to the knowingness of who we are, the high dimensional knowingness of who we are. And of course, and this is the last thing I'll say before I'll touch base with you guys. Throughout our multidimensional nature, we pick up those layers of unconscious beliefs and programs that disconnect us from that knowingness of who we are. You know, when we're born as babies, babies are so smiley and engaging and happy and full of self-worth. They know exactly who they are. And then as we get older, we get sort of impacted and imprinted with beliefs, which is what I've sort of circled around here, that kind of blocks us and disconnects us from remembering who we are. What divine healing does is it takes a little shovel and it goes in and it starts to shovel away and peel back all of those layers so you can actually recognize the truth of who you are. And the more you do it, the more clarity you have. So I'm chatting away. Does anyone have any questions or any thoughts or anything they want to share before we move on? Does anything not make sense, or does anything resonate maybe a little bit more deeply? Or is everyone just quite happy just watching and listening? Oh, does someone have a question? Ah, thank you very much, Issy. Okay, so I'll continue then. You guys are happy watching. Any questions, just pop your hand up at any point. Yes, I can make the slides bigger. Let me see, is that better, Sarah? Yeah, sorry everyone, it's because I got actually a really small screen and I'm trying to fit my little window. Maybe I'll move you guys over there. Actually, no, I think you're fine. I'm going to keep you there. Is that a little bit clearer? Okay, good. So this is something that Nicholas talks about, the 3 primary separation patterns. And I really like this, and I just wanted to touch on it very quickly before we move on. And I want you to recognize maybe which one you have. I've been abandoned by God. I've been left here to suffer. Feelings of isolation, disconnection. Why am I here? Why have I been left here? A mistrust of God, a mistrust of this incarnation. I'm not supported. I'm not supported by life. I'm not supported by others. I'm stuck. Nothing new is coming my way. I can't break free. And then unworthiness of God's love. I'm not good enough. I can't achieve in this lifetime. I can't follow my dreams. And they're really, really strong. We talk about them a lot because normally there's one core one running through people's lives. And often there's typical soul contract numbers that are quite connected. So mistrust is sort of 4s and 7s. That can happen. Abandon, that's a good 9 energy. Again, 4s are quite strong with this. Does anyone resonate with these? Or is there one that feels particularly strong more than the others? Sarah, unworthiness. Yes, that's my one as well. I am not good enough to do what I came here to do. It's very much the 3 energy. Okay, so Issy, abandoned by God and mistrust of God. Belinda, unworthy of God's love. Yeah, you guys feel free to pop it in the chat and I'll bring them up.
I kind of feel
yeah, Graham, go for it.
Yeah, the second one, mistrust of God, and the third one, unworthy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely unworthy. That's 3, right?
Yeah, that's that 3
That's
energy.
right.
Oh my gosh, the 3s. Yeah, well, the 3s are really here to come out of their proverbial shell,
Yeah.
come out of the symbolic shell of hiding to express themselves and their talents out into the world so they can feel recognized and seen and valued. But of course, that layer of unworthiness blocks that completely, which is why it's such a challenge. You're very much here to be seen and heard and recognized when you have threes in your chart.
Yeah. That feels right.
Yeah, very much so. They're really, really strong. And it's interesting that you guys are resonating with more than one. I think probably all of us feel them in some particular way. Belinda, you might have a three sneaking in your common name. So maybe not your birth name, maybe in your common name, commonly used name, or it might be an imprint. If you're still feeling it, if you still feel a soul contract energy, but it's not in your birth name or your commonly used name or a married name as a woman, it might be imprinted on you from your parents. It might also be imprinted on you ancestrally further back. That's another, just an extra layer of complication with the soul contracts. Oh yes, it's not just our numbers. We're processing for our parents and our families and all sorts. So let's move this over here. I really love this slide because again, like my analogy of the ship, you know, we're here to, oh, this is my boat. we think we're in control of the ocean, of our direction, of our path. And actually there's these big currents taking us to places we might not want to go to. But it's very, very similar to the lotus flower analogy. So essentially, we are here to work through the mud of our subconscious beliefs and what we call our emotional separation patterns and bloom outwards, a bit like that three energy. We're here to work through the unworthiness and bloom. Sevens, we're here to work through the fear and bloom. 10-1s, we're here to work through a feeling of not belonging and feeling like an outsider and bloom and bring all our consciousness to that issue. It's a really, really big one. This is what divine healing does. At its core, it brings consciousness to the issues that you are not aware of. Well, I'm going to explain that now. We're just going to go down. Okay. I'm just going to move this there and move that. Okay, perfect. I call this, we call it the ego onion. All those layers, remember, all those layers that block us from remembering who we truly are. And what we love to joke about with this is we're aware, this is my pie chart. I made this specially because I wanted to demonstrate this. We're very aware, maybe 1% we're aware of our stuff. I know I don't feel worthy. I know I'm scared to be seen. You know, I'm very, very aware of certain challenges I have. I know them, I can see them, I can put my finger on them. But I'm also aware, just 1%, of there's stuff underneath the surface that I'm not aware of. I know there's stuff underneath that I haven't been able to find and put my finger on. I know it's there. But then there's 98%. What I don't know, I don't even know. This is true for all of us. We know what we know where we struggle. We're also aware that there may be other things that we're struggling with. But most of us are very, very, very unconscious, and it's all by design, very unconscious of the real stuff underneath the surface. It's endless. Program upon program upon program. And that's not to be daunting in any way, shape, or form, because our whole purpose of this lifetime is to keep evolving and growing our consciousness. And we do that through healing and integrating the parts of us that we cannot accept. We need to bring them into wholeness. We're not rejecting, we're not letting go, we're not trying to get rid of any parts of us or any parts of our past. All we're doing is we're integrating them back into wholeness, almost like dissolving them back in. So when I say peeling the ego onion, it's almost like you're peeling, but you're integrating at the same time. But often there's lots of lovely, deep, deep layers. And what we say is you can get to 80% of your programs on your own with your divine healing folder. This is my divine healing folder, well thumbed, well used, because I've used it a lot in the years that I've been studying it. But often you need someone to take you into this deep, gnarly, under the surface bit, which is not so easy to hold space for yourself. You know, our deepest traumas, often we do need someone with experience who can hold space for us as we go into the really deep parts of who we are and what we're carrying. This is a very, very big thing. So let's talk about feeling overwhelmed. And actually, let's talk about this first. I think I mentioned this very earlier. Not very early. What is the purpose of healing? First and foremost, we're here to release shame and self-judgment, which locks stuff in place. Everything thrives when we repress it with shame. When we push things into the deepest parts of us, that's when they can take root and take hold and take power and control us from that place of darkness. But when we shine the light of our awareness and our love and our compassion and our consciousness on those parts of us that we find so shameful, or we are in such judgment of having, or of who we are, that's when those programs begin to lift and lighten. They have nowhere to run when we shine the torch. Imagine a very dark cave, and we have a fear. We have a fear that, my God, I have never been good enough, and I never will be good enough to do the work that I love. I know a lot of practitioners have this fear, myself included. It's that imposter fear. And it lives and it lurks in the cave, little gremlin, and it grows and grows in the darkness. When I shine a big fat torch on it, and I'm like, there you are, I see you for what you are, and I lovingly hold myself in this and release the shame around it. It does not like the light, has nowhere to run. That's how powerful it is when we release shame and judgment. Shame, and so many people have spoken about this topic, shame locks things down like an invisible cage, and it gives them power. It gives our experiences power. And so a big part of healing is releasing that shame and holding ourselves in that non-judgmental compassion. So Sarah, with your 13 fours, that is very similar to softening and opening the heart and allowing all of yourself. It's the same with the sevens. Sevens can have a lot of core shame. Very, very deep. I'm terrible at my core. It's a very, very deep one. And again, we're here to lift it up, lift it out. And from that point, we can bring in the truth. And the truth is very, very simple. The truth is not what our minds have been telling us all this time. The truth is that we are love, that we are an embodiment of love. And that's really all there is to it. And that beautiful self-compassion. And all we are here to do is accept, embrace, and love. Often I think a lot of people talk about self-love. And I'm like, well, we can't love ourselves unless we accept ourselves. And we can't love ourselves unless we embrace all the parts of who we are. Because we can't get rid of who we are and what we've done and what we've said. And it might be in the past, but it's made up who we are. So we're here to embrace and acknowledge all of that. And again, remember our true multidimensional nature, as Nicholas says, as multidimensional beings of life, of light, having a human experience on the earth plane before we pop off somewhere else and spend our time somewhere else. So I get very passionate talking about this because I do think when we release judgment and shame, everything frees up. So how are you guys all doing? Are you still hanging in there, not drifting off yet? Okay. I'm sorry, I think someone was sharing some messages, but I can't seem to get my little black. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, it's got some 19 ones. Okay, right, I'll come back to the chat. Beautiful. You guys keep chatting away in there. But if you want to ask me, just pop your hand up, I'll just speak. So I just want to let you guys read this, and I want you to just feel into how overwhelm is actually showing up in your life. And even if you haven't specifically come because of this topic, I'd still love to know where you're really feeling overwhelmed in your life, because I'm sure everyone is on some level. So is it feeling like you're always in a rush, that there's never enough time, got to get everything done, never enough time? It's my one. Do you have a big mental load? It's your brain constantly analyzing and preparing, trying to, if this happens, then that might happen, but if this happens, then what will happen to there? Because that can be a really, really strong one, of always trying to plan the next steps. Hard to switch off, hard to get to sleep, hard to relax. Maybe it's just feeling really emotionally exhausted, like everything's just too much. Like you're a cup of water and someone puts something in and it's just everything goes everywhere. So I had a lot of burnout in my 20s, and it'd be the smallest, not even a harsh word from my boss, and I'd be bursting into tears because I was completely burnt out and no boundaries in my life. So this was how it showed up for me in the past. This is a really big one, especially for those 8s and 10 ones, feeling responsible for everyone and everything around you. It can be on a really small level. Sometimes we can have a warrior energy, a lot of light bringers. I don't say light workers, light bringers, because we're bringing light, we're radiating it for other people to turn their lights on. A lot of us have this warrior mentality of I must fight, I must protect myself, I must defend, I must look after everyone behind me, especially for family, friends, society. And it can often be I have to be the caretaker of my family. I have to look after all of my family. And on the last stage, I have to look after the entire world. And I'm not even joking with this one. A lot of us can have this, I must fix, save, and heal everyone I come across. I had this when I first studied kinesiology because I was so blonking passionate about it. Every time someone mentioned they had a headache or they had a sore toenail, I'd be rushing and being like, you need kinesiology. God, I was exhausting to be around. So, but I was very passionate. I felt very, very, very like I wanted to fix everyone. This is my 8th and my soul contract. Feeling a bit scattered, ungrounded, can't focus. I see you smiling, Belinda. Unable to get things done, procrastinating, unable to just hit the nail on the head and get going with what you need to do. That could be a really big one. As I said, struggling to rest. That's a very big one. And then feeling like you've got a constant to-do list. There's always something else that needs doing. Always something else that is on your list. And maybe you guys don't even need to share if you don't want to, but maybe just give me a nod if something in there is resonating, some sort of pattern of overwhelm is showing up. Graham, did you want to jump in?
Yeah,
Jump away.
I'm smiling because there's the number fives are the ungrounded, unable to focus, and we're really I've got, I've got a gazillion of number fives in my common name, so yes, that is definitely me. You can recognize a little bit of everything, I guess, but the one that just kind of sticks out is the ungrounded and unable to focus, and like stopping and starting something, and feeling like I've got to learn everything and anything, and yeah, that's where the overwhelm comes in as well.
It's fives. So beautifully shared, Graham. Fives, I always imagine, this is my little image of what fives look like energetically. They're so connected up there. It's almost like there's so much going on. We can call fives dreamers. They're pioneers. They have big imaginations, but they are very heady. They almost have one foot in this world and one foot in another planet in their minds. And it can be very hard for them to ground all these ideas down into actual forward motion. This is the other, it's the soul contracts, the foot moving forward. It's the left or right foot, the 5 energy, taking grounded, real, manifested action.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing, Graham.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Great example of the 5s. Does anyone else? Okay, Sarah, life has too many moving parts. Belinda, you've got most of it. I love it. Issy, did you want to share? I saw your hand.
Yes, thank you. Able to come off on camera on mic for a little bit, but yeah, I'm just like looking at this list and I really am resonating with mostly all of it, to be honest. I feel like the two that I kind of are just like lesser or more in the background for me or not really relevant right now are feeling responsible for everyone and everything around me and feeling scattered or ungrounded or unable to focus. So it's like I do feel grounded. I am able to focus on things, but it does feel like there's constantly so many things. And I think to Sarah's point, lots of moving parts. And so my mind is constantly worrying with processing everything. And yeah, I've definitely been struggling with making, like intentionally creating space to actually slow down, to really rest, and just allow myself to just kind of have more space, I think, to just be with myself and process things. So, yeah, I want to share that. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It's really lovely, everyone, when you share, because everyone will resonate. Everyone will resonate with that. Absolutely. And you know what, a big one for me is for a long time, and it's something that keeps running under the background for me. I sometimes don't feel like I have done enough to deserve resting. And I don't know if anyone else resonates with that. It's almost like, well, oh my God, I haven't achieved enough. I haven't worked hard enough. And it's not true. It's definitely not true. And it doesn't even need to be true. We don't have to have a certain input to have a certain output, you know. But that's definitely my one. Yes, lots of yeses to that. Thank you. Everyone's just like, yup, yup. Yeah, feeling deserving of resting. That is such a big one. And because the world is constantly pulling on us, it is pulling on our time and attention and energy. And we're also, and I think no one has, previous generations before the internet probably weren't exposed to this level of stress and overwhelm, but we have constantly in our faces examples and exposure to people who are doing a lot. So it's on the TV, everyone doing all these things. It's on social media, everyone doing all these things. You know, it's very easy to think, oh, I'm not doing enough. I'm not actually living enough. And again, I just don't think this was a really big thing before, maybe even 10, 15 years ago. It's very much a big thing now. So yes, that feeds into it. Yes, it's remembering, I'm going to read this out, Sarah. I'm allowed to be here, yes, when I'm not accomplishing anything. And it's so interesting because we were also taught as children, this is very much ingrained in the programming of our society, that achievement is rewarded. Oh, well done, you won the race, you trained the hardest, here's a medal, everyone's recognition and applause. Well done, you became top in your maths exam because you worked the hardest, you achieved the most, recognition and reward. You know, this is quite literally the conveyor belt that keeps moving into corporate life as well. You know, whenever we do well, we are rewarded and validated. And it completely destroys our understanding of our innate value, of our worth, just as who we are. And this is really interesting. I talk about this, and this is not my work. This is a beautiful model designed by a lady called Layla Elizabeth Risdon. And I'm going to make a note to find it when we're doing our divine healing practice so I can share it with you. She has a beautiful model to help us understand the difference between confidence, self-esteem, and self-worth. And what she says is society has made us believe that our value, our worth, is determined on what we do. So, as I said, you do well in a test, you do well in a sports competition, you do well in your job, recognition, reward. And that creates our confidence, which is like the cherry on top of the cake. But actually, when we stop receiving recognition and validation for what we do, maybe we're an athlete, we break our leg and we can't compete in sports competitions. We no longer receive that validation, that esteem. And if we have not developed a healthy foundation of worth, what we do no longer matters. It's like an external cord, but there's nothing to feed us anymore. It's like, yes, Graham, if you want to pop up, yeah.
Yeah, I resonate a lot with this, Antonia. Like, I mean, I went through a number of years of chronic fatigue,
Mm.
and there's nothing more humbling than lying in a bed and not doing anything at all, and feeling like you're not contributing, and that you're not being not contributing in terms of like income or the family life or anything really. And that really does shine up any like self-esteem issues and everything, and which then compounds the fatigue even more. We go into even more of the depths of yourself. So yeah, absolutely, it's that kind of behavior is set in stone from like the schooling system, really, isn't it? It's set in stone. You don't see it so much really in like kind of the youngsters from like 0 to 5 as much, maybe a wee bit off the parents, etc. But it really, I've seen a massive difference in my children when they were before they were at school, and then they start going to school, and all of a sudden this intense energy has besotted them. It is, it takes over their lives, and they were never like that before. And they certainly, we as parents, encourage the opposite of that. But it's very much that intense. I've got to achieve, got to achieve, got to do something, and they feed. They're feeding off the energies, or they're feeding off all each other. So it's and obviously then we get to the point in our 20s and 30s and 40s, and that's when it then starts the burnout and everything. The overwhelm starts to kick in. It becomes too much.
100%. And that's such a perfect real life example of how this model works, tying our value to what we do. And if we can no longer do that thing, we're left questioning our value. But in reality, our value is the bedrock, our worth. It's our self-worth. And we are worthy because we are born. But as you said, society teaches us, we are worthy because of what we do. And so the more we learn to disassociate our value from what we do, the more we can start to build those lovely worthy roots underneath. And like a good example I use with myself is with Instagram or social media. I went through all sorts of very, very deep emotional stress with being seen on social media and equating how many, I think everyone does, how many views or likes or comments to my worth. And I could feel, this was maybe 5 years ago, I felt it so strongly. I could feel if I put myself out there and no one could see or validate or understand my message and they didn't resonate with it, I took it so personally as a reflection on my value. And that really discouraged me from sharing myself out with the world. And it's taken me years to work through it. And I'm still working through it because I think this is a very, very common one, especially when we're trying to put ourselves out there. And Issy's put some great comments in the chat. Value based on what we do as well as what we have or don't have. Exactly. That's exactly it. So this is a beautiful model, and Layla's written a whole book around it. And I just always share it because I think it's absolutely genius to help us remember, oh man, if we cut those external cords that connect us with what we do and as you said, what we have, then, oh my God, that real self-worth can finally have a little bit of space to bloom and grow within us, which is what we want, basically. So the juicy part of this now is, what are the hidden, now we recognize what behaviors we have and how they're showing up in our life. What are the hidden emotional patterns behind each of our individual overwhelm? We've talked about them a little bit, but I want to go into them because I had fun writing these, because again, I saw myself in all of them. So a big reason we stay in overwhelm and busyness is because we want to avoid what we're really feeling. This is very much a 3 energy, a 3, 12, 3, 21, 3. This is almost like, if I'm busy and I wear my busyness as my badge of honor, I definitely used to do this and I definitely still can do this. frequently, I don't have to sit still and feel how I'm feeling. And so it's almost like we're running away from our problems, but we're running into overwhelm and stress because we are not sitting still to acknowledge how we feel. Almost like I say, actually, no, I'll leave that example because I was going to talk about the 12-3, but this is me chatting too much. This is avoiding how we're feeling. This is the core of it. So we're going to go through them and you guys can maybe share what resonates. Blurred boundaries, because we think everyone's emotional challenges are ours to fix, save, or manage. Blurred boundaries. It's a really, really big one. I am overly responsible for. I must give more. I must, look after someone else to the extent where I burn myself out. Issy's got all those 12-3s. I've got a 12-3 in physical talents too, and this is where, oh my God, can't rest. That's where it comes from, being deserving of resting. Okay, now I'll tell about the 12-3s because you brought it up. The 12 energy and the 12-3 combinations, if anyone has this, I don't see them that often. The 12 is like a galloping horse running along the beach. It wants to expand, it wants to learn. 12s are bookworms, they love to explore, they love to dive into topics, they love researching. So it's that galloping horse energy. But they come with a 3. So the 12 is naturally expansive, but the 3 encourages the horse to run faster. It's like the rider on its back going, go on, go faster. Because the 3 doesn't want to be still. The 3 doesn't want to sit in stillness to feel what's really going on. And so it gallops the horse faster. And so the 12-3 energies can be very, very rushy, very busy, trying to do everything, and then not getting your balance. So 12-3s can fall out of balance so easily. Go too much into the physical, not enough in the spiritual, too much work, not enough play. Yes. There we go. Graham's got some 21-3s and 12-3s. See, this is everything in the group sort of connects in some way. And if you don't have your chart, you just need to go onto soulcontractreader.com, get a free account, and type in your birth certificate name, and it'll tell you what you have. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stop share. Let me go back. That gave me a shock. Okay, right, back in. Carrying unprocessed emotional experiences. This is a really big one. This can keep us feeling chock-a-block energetically, almost like we haven't had time to process stuff and we're holding it in. And that can be so tiring, so draining. It's unprocessed, it's sat underneath the surface. Again, divine healing, the whole point of divine healing is to go in and get stuff we're not aware of. And we do a lot of trauma work. Safe, effective, gentle, powerful trauma release. So this is a really big one. And Sarah, I'm talking to you with this because you've got 10 ones. Believing things need to be done perfectly, or that we have to get everything right. And this can often be instilled in us as a child, our parents' expectations, our parents' pressure, society's pressure, the school we went to. If I get it wrong, then I will not be seen through the eyes of my parents as being worthy or good enough. Therefore, I will not be seen through the eyes of God as being worthy or good enough, because our parents are just a reflection of our relationship with Source. Now, a big one is fear of losing control. When we don't want to lose control, we will try and control everything and do it all ourselves. We will not accept help. We will not accept support. We will not accept anyone to come in and help us manage. Because we want to stay in control. We want to stay safe. Again, very similar, difficulty trusting, receiving support. Because we want to do it all ourselves and we don't trust. We don't trust other people. We don't trust that we will be handled safely, lovingly, in a way that we deserve. And that could be from past experiences where we have trusted someone and they have let us down and broken that trust. Very common. And as I said right at the beginning, we are all little sensitive sponges and we are constantly absorbing, without even being aware of it, the emotions, energies of everything and everyone around us. And so when you are a sensitive soul, you need to be clearing. You need to be clearing quite a lot. One of the charts, I feel like we might do it. In every divine healing level, we have interference charts. And interference, you can have interference sitting in your fields. These are like negative entities. And they're not to be scared of. We don't fear them. We don't hate them. They just need to be removed. So they live in the lower vibrational emotions. So if we have a shock, a trauma, if we go to a low vibrational energetic space, supermarkets, hospitals, you just feel it sometimes when you're walking around certain areas. It just feels a little dark, a little ghoulish. That's where little critters hang out. And I call them critters because it's quite funny, but we pull them out. They live in our energy fields. The amount of things that we cannot see with our eyes that exist in this world, I think is quite mind-boggling. But we do a lot of clearing. And then also clearing the stuff under the surface that we're not even aware is there. Little stresses, little tensions in our energy bodies, in our physical bodies, in our chakras, as well as doing lovely, big, juicy clearings of our own energy fields. And one of the best ones, I'm actually going to share it with you guys now, is this technique. And you will have heard of it if you've done a training with us. It's called, well, there's a couple. Let me find it. Here it is, the quadruple grid technique. This is absolutely wonderful. I do it on myself very, very often. So this is a spoken command using, we work with Grace Elohim. You can read about the different beings we work with. And we're essentially spinning out our grids, spinning out entity, shame, guilt, mistrust. Leaves you feeling lighter. You can do it on yourself, you can do it on your space, and you can clear other people's energies as well. So I wanted to share that because this is, I'm going to put it in the chat. You guys want to grab that because it really is absolutely wonderful. And I think we've got some, I love it. You guys are chatting away in there. So I wanted to share that. We need to do quite a lot of clearing out our fields to keep ourselves feeling fresh, especially working with clients. So does anyone resonate with any of these hidden emotional patterns? I know we've talked about some of them a little bit. I mean, I'm very happy to share. Mine is I don't like losing control. Absolutely not. I'd rather do it myself. I have very blurred boundaries. I'm getting better. And I sometimes don't want to feel. So if anyone else wants to share, you guys, anything that pops up or resonates, Graham.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything again, isn't there? There's just a little bit. The difficulty trusting and receiving support just jumps out the screen to me there. Difficult, yeah. That comes from like past hurts and feeling, let down, or the former partners, the feeling of rejection. I guess that definitely that resonates quite deeply. And then it goes, if we go deeper still, it goes back to like the experiences of childhood and the bonding between the mother, and yeah, that's a really deep one for me. But and certainly unprocessed and carrying unprocessed emotional experiences, yeah, I feel like I'm carrying things from I don't, for feels like a lot of lives, not just this life.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting to find out with divine healing
yeah.
how that can really shine a light on and bring to the surface and transform.
Yeah, it does shine light on things. And the way divine healing often works is the client will come or you'll be working yourself and you have a clear intention of like, I really want to work through this issue that I'm having, abundance or my relationship with my dad or my job or my work or whatever it is. And divine healing, we work with our higher self in divine healing. And we use muscle testing and number mapping. Number mapping is basically leaning back and allowing the energy of the number to drop in, and that's the chart you go to. We teach you how to do it. It's the simplest thing. Everyone gets it. The more you do it, the more you trust it, because it lands on the exact thing that you need to work on. But it will go in a roundabout way. And the beautiful thing in divine healing is we're not in control of the session. As a practitioner, neither is the client. You're letting divine intelligence work through you to bring up to the surface what is ready to be worked on. And often our deepest wound at the core of our onion is the thing that we don't go to directly, but we work our way down. We peel the layers down. So all of this number mapping, yes, number mapping is so I'll show you. You get to the contents and you tune in. So I got 14, it just dropped in. So nutrition is when we're downloading nutritional frequencies into the body. So it's a little integration chart, but it might be something like, so what you were saying, Graham, sometimes, you know, sabotages come up a lot. The sabotage chart's one of my favorites. So the number 19 would just drop in and we go to the chart and there's a big list of different types of sabotage. In fact, I'll show you guys. Let's go into, and then we're going to do the practice because, yes, Belinda.
When people use the number mapping, does everybody get the same number?
So you're not doing it as a big group, you're just doing it with one person. So the person that you're working on.
But
so
in order to practice and in the course?
Yes. So on the training, you get split up into little Zoom breakout rooms with one other practice person. And you guys practice the chart on each other. So if I was practicing on you, Belinda, let's go to the sabotage chart now because I'm excited about it. I'll show you. We teach you in the training. We go through every chart, either as a group or we get you to practice individually, but every chart we go through. So the sabotage charts, here's a general list of different sabotages. And you pick a letter or a number 1 to 23 and say I get 7. You go down to the number 7 and you've got 6 different options and you get guided as to which one it is. And I got grace, 3, just drops in. And then you follow the process and we give you the instructions of going through and clearing the sabotage.
Here's my problem. How do I trust that I'm getting what I'm getting?
Yes, well, that's where the experience of practicing comes from. So you're going to practice and you're going to have us in the room with you to help you.
Okay, so if you're in the room with us, do you get the same number? I mean, since
I'm not working on the client, so no. It's only you working on the client, it's only you number mapping, because you have a unique person you practice with or the client that you work with. A lot of people, by the way, have a lot of, before they come on the training or in the first day, they're like, well, how am I going to get the right number? Belinda, everyone, I promise, everyone has the same concern and the same worry, and we address all of those in the training. It's going to be okay, I promise. It just is. Or we teach you how to do it. You don't need to worry about it now. We're going to teach you how to do it. We're going to help you strengthen that trust, and you're going to be a natural. Because the people who have the biggest fear are normally the ones who are the most naturals. So I hope that puts your mind at ease.
I'll have to go take your word for it for now.
You have to take my word for it. I'm going to be in the training, so I'm going to help you anyway. But what we're going to do is, I think we're going to go into a practice so you guys can get a lovely experiential feel of divine healing. I don't know what we're going to work on, but what I am going to suggest is, yes, as Issy said, Belinda, you've got it. Exactly. All here to encourage each other. And everyone comes to the training with the same fears. How am I going to do it? How am I going to trust what numbers come up? How is it going to work? By the end of the 4 days, you won't recognize yourself on that first day. You won't recognize those fears. They will not be there. And I've assisted in many, many trainings and seen all the fears that you're sharing. And I promise you, we support you through all of them. So why don't we have a little practice? Belinda, yes. Or did you, oh no, just the hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my screen up, not for you guys to watch, but for anyone who is wanting to see how I do the process, okay? I actually want all of you guys to lean back and shut your eyes. If you're sat in a chair, I want you to actually lean back off the vertical. If you can lie down, you can lie down. If you want to keep your cameras on or off, it's whatever feels. Belinda, it's okay to feel emotional on this. It's about trust. It's about trusting yourself. It's about trusting your connection. It's really okay. Let's see what comes up in our little practice now. So everyone, shut your eyes and lean back. Keep cameras on, turn them off, whatever feels good. I'm going to do at least 20 minutes. Beautiful. And just start to take some lovely deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And just start to land in your body. And if you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, you start to settle and ground more into your physical being. So just do that a couple of times. In the nose, out the mouth. And just start to feel the weight and heaviness of your body. Soften your forehead, your jaw. Relax your arms, relax your legs. If your feet are planted on the floor, just ground them nice and deeply down. Feel them rooting all the way down. And what I'm doing first is I'm going to do what we call the opening prayer. Now, I normally do this before the webinar, and I actually forgot. So we're going to do it now. It's going to connect us to the practice we're going to do and to the group. So I'm going to go through it quite quickly because I want to get on and do a lovely chart. Okay. I am one with the presence, power, and consciousness of spirit, the creative God force that moves within all things, and I open my heart to the love and warmth of divine presence, and command grace and healing for this group to bring us all into the most perfect healing, wholeness, and alignment at this time. I dedicate myself to the service of this group and to the service of the whole creation in the highest and best good. And I command that all the healing, love, and support available to this group in the universe comes to them now. I'm going to do a little abridged version. Please clear me, my workspace, and the group I am working with. And I command that if there is anything stopping me working with this group, whether it's blocks, attachments, resistance issues, interference programs, beliefs, perceptions, feelings, judgments, thoughts, discordant energy, fears, contracts, promises, agreements, expectations, or anything that hasn't been mentioned that needs to be clear, please make it clear now. And I'm going to do the rest of it just silently in my head. So just want you to come into a lovely flow of breath as I complete the opening prayer. I'm still here, I'm just doing it silently. I'm commanding energetic alignment with this group to facilitate maximum interconnection throughout the healing. Do a little bit more, just keep that lovely flow of breath. With every breath, just keep yourself relaxing and grounding deeper and deeper into your body. Beautiful. And what I'm going to start with, so just keep yourself lovely and relaxed. I'm going to work on a main low frequency program. Now, this is a common one I do in webinars because we all have main low frequencies, undercurrents, under the surface. Now, main low frequency is just like an energy that we're sort of semi-aware of, that's maybe bringing us down a little bit. And I'm going to work as a group to see which is an energy the group is having as a whole. So let me see what's going to come up. Okay, already came through. So I number matched and I got the number 11 and then I got the number 2, which is lack. A low frequency energy of lack. So I want you all individually just to allow yourself to connect with an energy of lack that may be existing under the surface, or maybe on the surface. An energy of lack. Really allow yourselves to connect with it. Maybe notice if there are some emotions or feelings coming up. And I invite you all to go a little bit deeper into this and notice, how is this energy of lack operating in your life? Where are you feeling this energy running through your life? Maybe it's in work, abundance, love, relationships, or anything else. Where is that energetic frequency of lack really affecting you? And in divine healing, we always work with finding the origin of a program. This is a main low frequency program of lack. But because everyone's going to have a different point of origin, I'm just going to do a nice general command code to clear the origin. And actually, taking you somewhere else. Beautiful. I'm going to do a Zappic chart. So I just want you to keep breathing into the feeling. Maybe you can notice where this energy of lack is feeling in your body. Is there a part of your body that feels like it's holding this energy of lack? Maybe you can do a little mental scan from head to toe. And just notice if there's any parts of you feeling where this lack is really taking root. And there's no right or wrong way to experience divine healing. It can be very unique to you. You might feel it very physically in your body, this program of lack. You might connect more emotionally with some emotions that are coming up with it. Or maybe there are some visions or memories coming through your mind. Just be very present with what's coming up and allow it all to come through. Where are these feelings and emotions that might be coming up with this program sitting in your body? Where are you feeling this? What does it feel like? What does this energy feel like? We always say in divine healing, the deeper you can feel something, the deeper you can engage with it emotionally, the deeper the clearing. And a lot of us struggle sometimes to connect emotions with our bodies, so it's okay. I'm not a big feeler, but I can feel emotionally. I might not feel it so much physically. So again, everyone experiences this a little differently. I'm going to do a little clearing as I allow you guys to just go nice and deep with this. Higher self, please apply this healing of nutrition. This is the one I got. Sorry, not nutrition, hydration, multidimensionally and for as long as it is required. actually going to go a little bit deeper into the hydration chart I'm giving. You always just follow your guidance in divine healing. My guidance is telling me there's a little hydration needed in the heart chakra. Higher self, please correct all dehydration in the heart chakra multidimensionally for as long as it is needed. Thank you. And I'm also getting the lungs. Higher self, please correct all dehydration in the lungs multidimensionally and for as long as needed. Thank you. So allow that to integrate and shift. And just keep opening yourselves to all aspects of any feelings that are coming up. Perhaps any attachment to having those feelings, or to having this main low frequency program of lack just running under the surface. Any feelings for being bad, for having it. Any judgment that you hold around it. Just allow it all to be seen, all to come through. And I'm getting that it's ready to clear. And sometimes in divine healing, when you're working with someone, it won't be ready to clear and you'll go a little bit deeper into it and it'll connect to something else, but this is ready to clear. So I want you all to center into your hearts and you're going to speak this command out loud. You're going to follow my voice. You don't need to look at the screen. Keep your eyes shut. Stay in your bodies. And speak these words with this lovely power and intention, okay? So you're going to repeat after me. I ask Saint Germain to pour the purple flame through the aura and subtle bodies to burn away all low frequency energies that I have discovered, so that new higher level vibrations can be accessed and accepted and encoded. Saint Germain and higher self, please burn out in one go. 100% the core issue through all levels and dimensions. 100% the original cause through all levels and dimensions. 100% the source of its power through all levels and dimensions. 100% all energy attached through all levels and dimensions. 100% all of its effects through all levels and dimensions. Thank you. And I invite you just to feel the shift. Notice how that's integrating. Beautiful. So I'm going to keep going a little bit more, not quite done yet. I'm going to do a little bit of energy clearing, interference, which is what I was feeling that I wanted to work on in this group. This is just clearing interference, negative energy beings that become attached to us when we are feeling vulnerable. And so I'm just going to tune in what is being picked up in the group, and then we're going to do a nice clearing on this. So again, I'm just number mapping the ones that I connect with. And this is hopefully going to make you guys feel a little bit clearer afterwards. And yeah, some of them have scary names, but they're not really that bad. Okay. I'm just slowly picking the ones that are coming up. Okay, there's quite a few. Again, very, very normal. Very, very normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back to the main low frequency chart because there was something there that was connected to one of these. We're not going to do the chart again. We're just going to find the low frequency energy it's connected to. So I'm getting the energy, again, a main low frequency energy of closed. An energy of closed. Maybe closed up, closed off. Divine healing always gets us as close as possible to the emotion or the feeling or the program. But sometimes we need to interpret it in a way that feels connecting for us. So just notice if you resonate with just this energy of closed. Whatever it might mean for you. Could be anything. Whatever comes up. Again, no right or wrong. So whatever comes up to the surface of your consciousness when you hear the word closed. And I just want you to just acknowledge it. We're not going to go into this process again. We don't do it for this. We're just going to acknowledge what's feeling closed within you. Whereas the energy of closed laying out in your mind. Just going to acknowledge it. And I'm going to do this clearing on your behalf, and you're just going to receive. Higher self, please clear and remove all these low frequency energy beings, their attachments, and any residual energy at whatever level or dimension they reside. Please take them to their next highest step where they will be made whole. Please make any necessary repairs to stabilize and secure this group's energy field and put up shields to prevent any further interference. I do a lovely big yawn, that's my clearing, and then we say thank you. We're also going to remove some extraterrestrial presence. This is always a fun one. They observe, they watch, and they interfere, they get in the way. And so I'm going to do a clearing on this. They address the extraterrestrial beings in and around this group's energy fields. Your experimental data is invalid due to your own presence. Your project is useless and meaningless expenditure of time, energy, and resources. I align with high self to command the removal of all remnants of your experimentation, all residues of your presence, all technicians, all equipment, all probes, communication devices, all implants, and whatever mechanisms have been placed. I align with high self to command that you now leave and end this fruitless effort. I speak these words with the power of the infinite. We all, in this group included, now claim full ownership of our being and bodies in all our incarnations past, present and future across time and space, as we acknowledge and choose to fully reconnect with our original divine blueprint. Purity Elohim, break resonance, please, seal the field. Higher self, please raise the vibration of all the bodies to the maximum beneficial vibrations per second to maintain this clearing and keep the soul clear, aligned and grounded. Thank you. Let that shake. And we're going to finish with a little, we call them zap codes. They're almost like command codes. A little bit of extra clearing. I can type it in. Here we go. Healing team, I command dendrites to increase to more than 1,000 per cell to enable neurons to open new channels of communication. Please strengthen, vitalize, and expand pathways within the heart to engender a new level of cooperation and rapport, to bring more light into the matrix, to create health, unity, perfection, and wholeness. And we've got one more for you to say, to repeat after me. It's a very beautiful one. This is again the theme of grace that's come through, being an open channel. So again, center into your hearts, and you're going to repeat after me with that lovely love, meaning, and intention behind your words. Healing team, Grace Elohim, I command my channel be open to receive grace, to expand access to my gifts and talents, wisdom and insight, my clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience, and that I am a clear channel to express these in the world with compassion, humility, and integrity. Thank you. And just take some lovely deep breaths. And just start to come back into the body. And then just come back when you're ready. It's always a very short little taster with divine healing. But I always like to give everyone a little chance to feel it. And it's very different in a group compared to when you're working one-on-one. Because in a group it's silent. And in a group with your client, you know, they're chatting at you, you're chatting at them. You're letting them speak and share their experiences, which is very validating. But in this example, when in a group, I'm asking you to do it individually. This is very different with a one-on-one. Does anyone want to share how they're doing, if anything resonated, how they're feeling? Or is everyone just quite relaxed? Belinda's, she's tired. Everyone's all good, everyone's here still. Yeah, Graham.
Yeah, just feeling very tired. Very tired. Yeah, nice and relaxed. I guess that's the nice and relaxed, and a lot of tension has left, and it's a little bit unfamiliar, the feeling. So yeah, just getting used to it.
Beautiful. Yeah, we can feel quite tired and a little bit altered when we have divine healing, because when we've been holding on to the energy of something, when we let that energy go, our body relaxes. Like when we go on holiday and we're like, oh, we can relax now,
Yeah,
and we get tired and sick.
that's that's exactly it. That's
Yeah,
it was really, really beautiful actually. It was really beautiful.
good,
Thank
good.
you.
It's you know, working on this level is really my favorite. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, sorry, Belinda, I didn't see your message. I speak quite quietly when I'm doing divine healing. Izzy's feeling nice and relaxed. Sarah, you're feeling lighter. Good, good, good. And this is just only a little experience. When you're on the training, you're getting 4 days of it. When you have a session, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you're able to speak. And when you speak, you validate and you're heard, and that's very healing, in my opinion. So loads of stuff I didn't get to, but it just doesn't matter at all, because I think we went through we went through everything we needed to. And this is my learning of letting go and not needing to control this webinar. It has to go this way, and we have to cover everything, because we don't. Some of you already signed up to Divine Healing. If you're not, it's 10th to 13th of September, coming up soon. It's 4 days. Starts 12:30 p.m. UK time each day. We have breaks. We have a big lunch break for an hour. So it's all split up, and then we finish at 8:30 each day, and it's 4 days. Level 2 is then in November, if you wanted and you felt ready to take level 2. I just wanted to ask if anyone had any questions about the training, any questions about... Yes, Belinda.
Thank you for sending me the information you needed to send. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But can you tell me, firstly, how many pages it is, and do I need to get that printed?
Yes, so you're going to have this contents page, which is just one page. You're going to want to print that. Then you're going to want to print the manual, which is 95 pages. Now, the easiest way to print, which I've done every time, is you send it to a local print company, and they do that. They do it for you, because I don't have a printer.
You send it like as in...
Well, if you go into the course materials, when you go in, and you can just talk to me about it on email separately, because I'll help you with this. You just, when you go into the course information page, you'll see the little PDF. It will be very, very clear, and you download it, and then you can send it to a print company with the password, and they can print it for you if you don't have your own printer.
Okay, how many pages is it roughly?
So this is a 95.
Okay, you can do it.
Yeah,
okay.
You don't need to print the presentation that comes with it, in my opinion. You might want to. It's Nicholas's presentation. I don't think you need it, but you need to have the manual printed, because when you're practicing, you're going to want to write notes on it. You're going to want to have it in front of you. You might want to put it in a folder like I have. It makes learning divine healing a lot easier when you have all the pages printed and filed in front of you. Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think I covered everything. Kind of questions for people who are watching it. I think I'll leave it there, because we've definitely gone over. There's so much more I could share about this, but time just seems to fly. I don't really know where it goes. We have run quite a few of these webinars. The next ones we'll be running for this will be in October, November, December time. But the training will be again next year in April for anyone who can't make it this year but would like to come next year. Okay. Yes, Belinda.
Sorry. For level 2, you said it was in November. What are the dates?
It's the 19th to the 22nd of November.
Okay, thank you.
It's Thursday till Sunday. Yeah. Okay, no final questions. Everyone's all good. Everyone's stuck with it this far. Okay, beautiful. Well, I'll let you all go. Wishing you a beautiful rest of your days. And Sarah, you can say
Yeah,
goodbye.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. It's been really amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just been exactly what I needed. Thank you.
Oh, I'm very, very happy to hear that. That's beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Issy. And thank you for showing up and being here. It makes my job so, it's not even a job, but it just, I always get very nervous before webinars and I don't know who's going to come. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to do a good job? So thank you for being here and making, you know, it very easy and joyful for me. Yeah, appreciate that, all of you. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely to meet everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
lovely to meet you. I'll let you guys go and I'll send you the recording probably tomorrow, okay, for anyone who missed it. Thank you, Graham. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, see you. Bye, bye, bye.